What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the After Credit Scene. We're checking out the 5th episode of Marvel's What If series on Disney+. This is one of my favorite episodes. I've been looking forward to it for a long time, and we're going to break down the whole thing for you right now. We finally got to zombies. This is an awesome episode, even though it ends kind of abruptly, which I think they're really getting comfortable doing. I think it seems like something that the showrunners here are just itching to do, and it leaves a bunch of setups for a season 2, so we'll see what happens there. But in the comics, in all sorts of different little teasers in movies, particularly Spider-Man Far From Home, where you get a zombie Iron Man, they've been teasing all these little zombie things, and having a full episode wrapped around seeing zombie versions of Avengers characters was something I was really stoked about and really excited to see. And I told you they've been cranking up the crazy, and with regard to the last episode with Doctor Strange and kind of ending it the way they did and it being dark, with the last episode ending the way it did, there's really no place they could go. Since everybody in episode 4 died, what do? Turn them undead? And so this was a really dark episode. Honestly, I thought it was less dark than the Doctor Strange episode. The Doctor Strange episode hit a little closer to home, and just him going evil was a lot more serious than the campy zombie feel of just zombie stories in general. We kind of get the idea that those things aren't real, and zombie movies in general have this gory, campy horror feel to it. So it didn't feel as dark. It was interesting. It was kind of fun to watch the whole universe get flipped on its head, so to speak. You got a lot of audio, vocal cameos in this episode. You got one more episode with Chadwick Boseman, which I was not expecting. Paul Rudd, Evangeline Lilly, Paul Bettany, Emily Van Camp, David Dastmalchian, who plays Kurt in Ant-Man, got to be a part of this episode, which I thought was really cool, and some of the little jokes there, particularly with the Baba Yaga jokes getting a resurgence, and we're going to talk about that in an Easter egg segment here at the end. I thought it was really cool to see all those characters and pull all of them in. This episode had a lot of the same beats as Avengers Infinity War, and by that I mean you get a Thanos cameo, you get somebody making Peter an Avenger. Iron Man did it in Avengers Infinity War. Bruce Banner does it near the end of this episode. The stone being ripped out of Vision's head, a lot of the same beats as Infinity War. In particular, with the Mind Stone being ripped out of Vision's head, I wondered if that might be, because of what we learned in episode 4, if that might be an absolute point, something that, because it happened, it has to always happen to move some of the plot or some of the story forward. I suppose they could always retcon that and make it an absolute point that, hey, Vision has to die for all these things to happen. Thanos has to snap everybody out of existence for these things to happen. Who knows? But those kind of things happening and having the same rhythms as in Infinity War, I thought was really interesting, and it definitely fit the what if plot. Again, with this episode, they didn't actually give you the what if. They just, the teasers and even the synopsis on Disney Plus said, what if zombies? But they don't tell you how it happens. So, with keeping with the watcher as the narrator, the what if moment, and he actually gave it to us, which I was really pleased with that, and I'm glad they're keeping that thread going. At the end of Ant-Man 2, when Scott and Hope and I can't think of his name right now, Hank Pym. Oh my gosh, we're gonna keep that in there because you need to see. My brain is fried. When Scott and Hope and Hank all go into the quantum realm to get Janet Van Dyne, she contracts a quantum virus. Now, obviously, one, it plays off the joke that you can stick quantum on anything and people just go, oh, okay. So that's how zombies pop up in the MCU. It's not some random virus. It was in the quantum realm, which allows you to do just about anything. But I thought it was interesting just from a scientific standpoint that they made it a quantum virus, because just a quick explanation of quantum physics. Quantum particles are particles that are shown to move in two different ways. They move like light, and they move in waves, and they also move the way a regular particle moves, point A to point B. But you don't know that until you observe them. And when you observe them, they actually break down into one or the other. So until you observe them, they're both a wave and a particle. So I thought it was interesting that they chose to use, they called it a quantum virus, because a zombie is a character that is both alive and dead. So using that idea, it was just kind of funny to me. It was just kind of interesting. Not that they're trying to make some kind of scientific statement, but just, hey, zombies are quantum beings because they are both alive and dead, depending on how you observe them. However, the quantum realm and quantum particles are both this and that. So it was just kind of a fun way to say, yeah, zombies. It can be a quantum virus. And again, it harkens back to some of the jokes in Ant-Man 2, where we just stick the word quantum in front of everything and it just magically works. The idea of zombies in the Marvel Universe who also retain enough knowledge to be able to power their superpowers, zombie Iron Man, zombie Doctor Strange, zombie Wong, zombie Scarlet Witch, were super terrifying. The fact that there's a zombie Hawkeye that can shoot his arrows, and then a zombie Ant-Man, not Ant-Man, but a zombie Hank Pym shrinking down and then coming, was super creepy. And made those parts of the episode very terrifying. How do you beat that? How do you take care of that? But in that moment, having characters like Wasp and Spider-Man and others come in and save the day made that really exciting. And then to see things like a space station looking set of trains that were suspended with Spider-Man's webs, I thought was really, really awesome as well. Some other things that were funny / interesting. The shirt that Happy is wearing, the I'm not single, I'm saving myself for Thor, was really funny. And if Redbubble will ever get me out of review jail, you can look in the comments and actually buy that shirt. I have one up for sale on Redbubble. Again, if Redbubble will take me out of review jail, then that'll be available. And there's some other ones on there as well that are already up for sale. So, but buy mine instead. I'm sure there will be Sebastian Stans going completely nuts over the fact that there is an animated version of Winter Soldier in a steamy shower scene in this episode. As soon as I saw it, I went, oh crap, here we go. But the video that Peter makes, I thought was hilarious. I'm going to save a little bit of that for the Easter egg segment here, but his video, similar to the ones he does in Homecoming and No Way and Far From Home. I hope he has one in No Way Home, but I doubt it. The videos that he makes on his phone, using that to make a zombie apocalypse video, I thought was really cool. And it gave me Zombieland type feels, because it kind of did the same thing that Jesse Eisenberg's character does in that movie, which is kind of show you how to survive the zombie apocalypse. The fight between Winter Soldier and Captain America was really interesting. It was a fun fight. It was a really cool reveal for Captain America. But I guess this is the end of the line. Oh, that was too much. They've given you that line through countless encounters with the two of them, Bucky and Steve, and then to throw it in there was just, that was a little much. I was really upset by the fact that they killed off Scott Lang so quickly, but then they do something so awesome and they bring him back as a severed head that has seemingly been cured. Throwing Vision in there as an element of, well, he wouldn't be attacked by zombies. But then to have the twist of him protecting Wanda and making his decision purely out of logic, that he wanted people to be cured, but he was also trying to keep Wanda alive, and her, because of her connection to the Mind Stone, they kept some of those ties from WandaVision. Her ties to the Mind Stone, her being impervious to being cured by the Mind Stone, was a really cool nod. Again, what does all of this mean for the live-action Marvel Universe? I do not know, but there are things that are now possible in the MCU, in other realities, in other universes, that could seemingly pop up in ours, and they've already got an explanation. So we know it's possible, and these what-if stories have given us the option, have given the writers and the storytellers in the live-action universe the option of pushing ahead with those kind of stories. So we'll see what happens there. Wrapping this thing up, I want to throw out some Easter eggs here. Obviously, the beats from Infinity War, Bruce Banner making Peter an Avenger, zombie Thanos here, having all the stones and showing up in Wakanda. It was interesting to me, he's got all the stones except for the Mind Stone. So similar to showing up on Earth in Wakanda in Infinity War and him needing the Mind Stone. Did he show up on Earth and everyone's a zombie, he gets turned? I would love to see that story. How did he get turned so quickly? Especially because, maybe it was through his own Black Order, his own children. He thinks that everything's fine and one of them bites him. That's the most plausible to me. But Thanos with all of the stones, not being able to fight off a zombie apocalypse, to me that seems like the only way. Somebody like Ebony Maw or one of those guys attacking him before he realizes it and becoming a zombie, and then him having the Infinity Gauntlet, a zombie Thanos with a zombie Infinity Gauntlet, is definitely worth a whole nother story. And then what if the Avengers are able to cure everyone before that happens? Who knows? Season 2, perhaps? But that was really cool. But just the similar beats are kind of Easter eggs because they follow some Infinity War things that we've seen in other movies. So I guess that could be considered an Easter egg. The MCU now has Harry Potter in it. I'm sure that has probably happened before. But the Wingardium Leviosa comment that Scott Lang makes when he is in his little jar, but he also has the cloak of levitation on him, I thought was really hilarious and a whole lot of fun. There is a shot of the outside of Grand Central Station where showing the zombie apocalypse, but the shot and the way the lighting was done reminded me of I Am Legend, the moment where Will Smith's character has been captured by a trap, and his dog is sitting there with him waiting for the sun to go down, and the zombies, or actually if you've read the I Am Legend stories, it's actually vampires, are getting ready to come after him in the dark, and that's where his dog gets hurt. Was a shot that looked like I Am Legend, and was really interesting to kind of include in this show. I don't know, I haven't done a deep dive into, were some of the writers, directors, different things, were those people involved in some of those things, and that's why they chose to kind of do that shot, or are they just fans of the show or the movie? So who knows? The Baba Yaga connections and using Scarlet Witch to be Kurt's version of Baba Yaga. The little Easter egg here is that Baba Yaga actually does pop up in Marvel Comics. They use that mythology, and a drawing of that caricature comes up in the comics, not even in the What If comics, but using her as Baba Yaga and having Kurt kind of roll back over that joke was really, really funny too. And then we get this Scarlet Witch Hulk fight. One of those fights that I didn't know I needed until it happened, and you go, oh, that's crazy. I really loved seeing that and seeing how they kind of matched up a little bit. Obviously, Scarlet Witch is definitely going to win that fight, but zombie Scarlet Witch and Hulk is a new little flavor on that. The Easter egg that I really liked, and it may not be even considered an Easter egg, I just thought the inclusion of Peter Parker making a video on his phone for how to survive the zombie apocalypse. Those types of videos, especially one made by Spider-Man himself and thrown out on YouTube, would be a viral video. I just thought that was funny. I was like, hey, Peter made a viral video. Oh, I get it. Peter makes a viral video in a zombie episode in a Marvel movie. It's just great. So many things in that episode I really, really liked. And then it ending so abruptly with, well, you're going to have to see what happens next time if we decide to do another one of these. Wait, what? Oh, that's where they're going to end it? Okay. What If is really enjoying not giving us happy endings. And for some reason, I'm seeing a theme here, and I'm wondering if this is going to have some kind of implication on movies moving forward. This idea that we're not going to get any happy endings for a while. I'm going to go ahead and prepare myself for that, and I would suggest that all of you as viewers do as well, because I would hate to get into some movies and get these unhappy endings and have to raise my fist in defiance and anger because Marvel is setting us up for something bigger. They did it in Infinity War, but we all kind of knew Endgame was coming and they're going to fix things. But they were preparing us for some really bad beats. Iron Man dying in Endgame. There was a lot of foreshadowing there even in Endgame, but they kind of already got you ready for it in Infinity War because, I'll take one guy dying as opposed to a whole bunch of them going away forever. So I have to think that What If is setting us up for a lot more of a letdown and a lot more gut-wrenching moments moving forward in the MCU, especially in the live-action stuff. And if they're not, then these shows and this series is giving the rest of the MCU directors a lot of license to be able to say, you know what, they ended things on a bad note. It's okay for me to end things that way as well. And when you're as big of a conglomerate and a mega force to be reckoned with like Marvel is, and you know that you can at least get one more movie out of a franchise that ends abruptly because you've got so much money to use and tell the stories you want to, it seems like they're going to be more comfortable with saying, we're going to end this on a really bad note because we know that certain characters are coming back and we can bring them back wherever we want to. So the crossover possibilities are endless, and adding the multiverse into that just throws this thing into even broader territory. But with Shang-Chi coming out and then this show being part of it, and Shang-Chi introduces us to alternate dimensions, just like we got in Doctor Strange with the mirror dimension and the dark dimension. Those things are all encapsulated inside of a universe. And I'm starting to gather that a branch reality is the beginnings of, or at least the hint of, another universe out there. So when you branch off of a timeline, there is a new universe created. So we're going to dive into that in a multiverse video sooner rather than later, so be sticking around for that. But tell me what you guys thought about the episode. Share your comments below. Check out some of the other links that we've got below to our TikTok, our Instagram, our Redbubble page, where you can buy, hopefully, one of the shirts that you saw in this episode. As always, like this video, subscribe to this video, and then share this sucker all across the multiverse. Until the next one drops, we'll see you later.